Hey besties, welcome back to Gracie May's Tarot. My name is Bethany, so we have a short reading planned for today. I wanted it to be very soothing, very calming, something you can maybe watch before you go to sleep at night or when you're just waking up in the morning. That's the kind of vibe that we're on. But this is going to be a soul-soothing message from your soulmate. So from your soulmate's higher self. What do they want to say to soothe your soul? What words of affirmation, reassurance, a gentle message from them? That's what we're after today. So, just a very calming reading is the goal here. So we have 3 groups to choose from today. If my voice sounds a little bit hoarse, I did just finish a future spouse reading, so apologies if I sound a little bit off. But for pile 1, we have the tortoiseshell kitty. For pile 2, we have the crystal kitty cat. And for pile 3, we have the classic black cat. So take a moment, pause the video if you need to, meditate on the groups. This is 100% a reading where you may feel called to more than one group, and that is totally fine. No worries. They're going to be short readings anyway. Okay, timestamps in the description box. I don't know if I said that yet or not. Let's get into it. Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we have the Page of Pentacles and we have the 3 of Swords. So some of you, your heart is really hurting right now. Some of you are quite stressed about finances, or this could also be talking about some of you feel like your relationships in general, whether they be romantic, platonic, or even with your family, it just feels like your relationships are a drain on your resources. Whether they be financial, emotional, mental, it just feels like your connections have been quite depleting. And your soulmate's reassuring message to you is that if it has been that way, it doesn't mean that it will always be that way, okay? There is change on the horizon for you. And for some of you, you've prayed for change for so long. You've wanted a shift, you wanted a transition. And it has just felt like the past has been repeating itself, or you've been in one cycle, or things have felt very stagnant for some of you. And your soulmate is saying, just because it looks like in your outer world things aren't changing, doesn't mean things aren't being shifted behind the scenes for you. And so the reassuring message is that, as heavy as these swords were, and as big of a burden as they were, it was all prep work. It was all preparation. And so as difficult as it was, with each sword, kind of to your heart here, you learn something, right? Because swords energy, I think sometimes we forget this with the 3 of Swords. Swords is mental, right? And yet this is a card that talks about heartbreak and grief and loss. Like, you would think the 3 of Swords should be a Cups card, right? Because Cups deals with emotion. So if we're talking about an emotional loss, you would think that this should be a card more suited to the Cups, right? But no, because heartbreak, grief, loss, disappointment, as much as it cuts our heart, pierces our heart, we learn something from it. Mentally, we learn something from it. There's an epiphany moment, a lesson learned, wisdom that we gain from that experience that we take away with us. And I feel like we forget that with the 3 of Swords because it's so painful, so awful. We get caught up in that part of it and we're like, oh God. Every time this comes out in a reading, it's like, ugh, the 3 of Swords, ugh. But, it's not a cup card, it's a swords card. You learn something from it. That's the most important part, is the wisdom that you learned, the lesson that you learned. And so if you accept that part of this card, if you accept the energy of this card and you integrate it, you integrate the lessons, you say thank you, next. you know, no matter what type of loss, grief, heartache it is, you do learn something from it. We all learn from loss. And yeah, your soul is saying it was all preparation, all of it. And even if it doesn't make sense now, hindsight is 20/20, it will make sense to you someday. Someday you'll find purpose in the pain. Someday all of these puzzle pieces will come together, and you'll look back on your life and you'll say, ah, I get it. I see. I get it now. And yeah, I mean, it's an acceptance of the past and an acceptance of what is that's going to free you to be open to the future. And your soulmate is saying, I'll meet you there. I'll be there with you. I promise. Let's see here. We have the birth of magic. Beautiful. Like, it's almost like, you know, we had to crack you open, right? We had to crack you open. You couldn't have this rebirth, because you are the magic. You are the magic that is being birthed. You couldn't have this rebirth if we didn't crack you open first. You know, we had to take you apart to put you back together again, you know, to integrate those lessons, to integrate the wisdom, to integrate your shadow. We had to crack you open first. You have to be cracked open to become. No one said the birthing process wasn't going to be painful, but it is worth it, right? Her and this dragon, they're one, they're connected. She's connected to her fire. And that's what it is. Connection to your passion, connection to your heart, to your life force, to your blood, right? That energy, it's beautiful. And I think also with this birth of magic, it does kind of make me think of the Game of Thrones, you know, and sort of, you know, when she, you know, the mother of dragons, right? Like those dragons, I'm not even going to talk about the ending of the Game of Thrones, but if we think about the beginning of her story and the mother of dragons, and when she was able to have those dragons birthed, right? Everyone said, you know, couldn't be done, couldn't be done, couldn't be done. And it was. And she felt that maternal connection to them. They were one with her, they were of her. And so that's really what it is here, is doing the impossible. Becoming what other people said you could never do. Stepping into the version of yourself that you didn't even know was possible. And now you're ready. Now you're ready for that soulmate connection, for that higher level love. You're ready because you've been prepared. Let's see. We have commit to self-care rituals. So in the meantime, right, when you're going through all of this, take care of yourself. Know that you're worth taking care of yourself. Pile 1, you guys tend to be my overachievers, my people who work a little bit too hard, push themselves a little bit too hard. Your soulmate is saying here, if you want to live a gentler life, if you want life to be more gentle with you, it starts within you. You have to be more gentle with yourself to have a life that is more gentle in nature. If you want life to give you an easier time, you have to give yourself an easier time. It starts with you, pile 1. Okay, so what we're going to do now is go ahead and take a look at your final message here. So this is from the Mother Mary Oracle, or Our Lady of Guadalupe. I definitely recommend this deck. It's beautiful. So this will be a blessing for your future, pile 1. We have Our Lady of Resurrection. How perfect is this with birth of magic? Your full potential, you know, especially if we think about past lives, because this is a soulmate reading, right? Your soulmate knows you from past lives. So you're being resurrected, you're being reborn into a version of yourself that you were in a past life, where you were exactly who you wanted to be. Exactly. And so it's like you're stepping into the power, you're stepping into the full potential that your soulmate always knew you were capable of. Look at your crown, right? Let's actually go ahead and take a look at the Oracle guidebook here, because this one has some great messages. I just want to see if they have any final words of advice, anything else that we've missed here. Okay, I'm just going to read this to you all. It says, "The eternal light dwells in my heart, and as you enter into my heart, held safe in my love for you, that light becomes visible to you. It will show you the way through any darkness and help you understand the purpose of past suffering so that you can let it go and be at peace, free from confusion, shame, or doubt. There is divine purpose within all that is. You have been struggling now, and it is time for rest. Step into the light of your heart now, beloved, and let the darkness go. The time is drawing near for your resurrection and release." That is beautiful. How well does that line up with the Three of Swords, right? And even the self-care message that we got here and the birth of magic. Wow, like that really ties your reading together really well. I want to see if there are any other messages here. Let me just look. Okay, there's two other little sections I want to read for you. "It is a strange paradox that when we truly open to life, we must be prepared to die many deaths before it is time for our physical life to end. We might suffer deaths of relationships, of ideals, of identities, of even certain hopes and dreams. If we can mourn these deaths, give them the proper attention and due acknowledgement, grieving in whatever way is respectful and truthful, then those deaths become sacred sacrifices on the altar of our new life." Let's see. "Our Lady of the Resurrection lift us up from even the deepest sorrow and gently urges us into the new light, new understanding, and new life. Take heed, beloved. Your time of darkness is swiftly drawing to a close, and a new day is soon to be upon you. The Holy Mother is with you, and together you shall celebrate." Beautiful. So from the darkness with the Three of Swords and into the light, right? So pile one, this was your message. Please take care, and I hope you all have the very, very best day. Hey pile two, so if you chose the crystal kitty cat, you are in the right place. So you all have the King of Compacts or the King of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. For some of you, I feel like you've really sort of been struggling in terms of this idea that you have of this future partner that you've been trying to call in. I do feel like this King of Compacts here, this King of Pentacles, is your soulmate coming through. So this is divine masculine energy, Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. And I feel like your heart has just been aching. I feel like there's a strong psychic connection between you and this person. You may have had dreams about them, or maybe just dreams where there's a lot of symbolism that you don't quite understand. I do think a dream journal could be beneficial for this group. Or if you don't have time for that in the morning, I know it's a struggle, you know, if you have to go to work, as soon as you wake up, you have to get ready, and then, you know, you forget your dreams later. You can always go back, maybe look at a tarot reading on YouTube, you know, what your dreams mean. I do have a video like that already uploaded on this channel, but you can also, like if you have tarot or oracle cards, you can pull cards and say, you know, Spirit, what did that dream that I had last night mean? Or you can even free write. You can do that as well. That's just a little suggestion for you all. But yeah, I feel like you're almost a little bit almost a little bit haunted by this. Like, this feels like a very strongly psychic or intuitive group. Like, I feel like the signs have been following you around about this person. I feel like you pick up on this person, or you know of this person, and you can imagine so clearly your future with them. You know, like, this really feels like you'll marry your soulmate. And it's tough, because you feel them so strongly and yet they're not in your physical reality yet. Or if it's someone from your past, you haven't reconnected with them. It just feels very overwhelming with this group. And there's such a strong desire here for marriage and stability and a lifelong partner, someone you can share your life with. I'm hearing Lana Del Rey's video games, like The World Was Built for Two. There's just this longing, this aching, this need. Yeah, there's such a... And it's not... It's because you're picking up on this person's energy so strongly that you feel this lack. You know, like, yes, it's a gift that you know this person is out there, that you can sense them. But it's also been a bit of a burden, because you keep wondering, like, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? And then you start to feel a little bit crazy, because you're like, am I making it all up? Am I imagining all of this? Yeah. And so I feel like your soulmate's coming through, like the soothing message here is this reassurance that I am out there. You're not crazy. I do exist. I am exactly as you imagine me to be. I am everything you've been wishing for. I am here. I am out there. I am calling out to you. You're not crazy. You're not making it all up. I am here. And I'm not going to pass you by. You won't miss me, because I'm meant for you. And you can trust in that. And as difficult as the wait is, as hard as it is, I am here. I am waiting for you. I am here. I just keep saying that over and over again. I am here. Let's see. Whispers of spring. I love how direct this message is. I love it. There are two ways I can read this. The first is that you will literally meet this person in the spring. Whenever spring is, I know you all are living in different parts of the world, but whenever you have springtime, that is when you can expect this person to come in 100%. The whispers of spring, those whispers are those signs and synchronicities that you've been seeing, those dreams that you've been having. For others of you, the message is that when you're in the spring of your life, so metaphorically, when things start to go really well for you after a dark period, okay? After you've been in the winter of your life where there's loss, there's darkness, there's grief, there's disappointment, heartache. When things are difficult, trying, maybe you're feeling a little depressed, a little down, a little sad, a little isolated. When things start to take a turn for the better, things start to get, you start to see a little bit success, you start feeling a little lighter, a little happier, the whispers of spring, right? Things start to go a little bit better for you. That's when this person will come in. And then we have stop judging and start loving. This is 100% what they want you to do for yourself. Don't judge your intuition. Don't judge this connection that you feel. Just accept the love. Because these messages that you're getting from your soulmate's higher self, from the universe, from spirit, from your guides, about this connection, it's so you can feel the energy of love now, even though you're alone. It's not to torment you. It's not to torture you. It's not to dangle a carrot, in front of your face. It's so you can feel the energy of love now, even when you're apart. Okay, let's look at these blessings for your future. You actually got an extra card pile too, so you're very special. We have Our Lady of Becoming, and we have Our Lady of Blessing Bestowed. When things start to bloom in your life, right? Spring is here. That's when the blessing of your soulmate will come into your life. And this does feel like your lifelong partner. Whether or not you choose to marry, this does feel like your lifelong partner. Because I looked at the guidebook for pile 1, I would like to do the same for you all as well. So this is the Mother Mary Oracle, or Our Lady of Guadalupe. This is a beautiful deck and guidebook. So I just want to see if there are any additional messages here for you all. Let's see here. Our Lady of Becoming. My beloved child, you are a divine flower preparing to bloom. You belong in the divine garden, and you will blossom into radiance. I have declared it, and it will be so. You shall thrive and be nourished into life. Your uniqueness and beauty shall not be hidden from the world, obscured by veils of fear and shame. I am the holy hand unveiling your secret light, that it may pour forth the grace that heals the world. This is your destiny, and it will be. Let's see. Yeah. Some of you definitely have a life purpose connected to your soulmate. It says, it may be a role that you are yet to fulfill, perhaps that of a lover, a spouse or a parent, or even a teacher or a healer. Yes, there's definitely growth to be had. You're meant to grow through this connection with your soulmate and learn how to be a true partner, a true spouse, a true lover to someone else. And I suspect they'll be doing the same with you, right? There's balance there. We have, I am offering you a spiritual gift now, the gift of a heavenly blessing. This blessing may come through a person. It will be your soulmate. Yes, I ask that you trust me, because in receiving this blessing, things will change. The changes are a shedding of that which would hold you back from fully receiving my blessing. My blessing asks you to have trust and courage as I help you leap into your divine fulfillment more swiftly than you could do so on your own. I'm glad that we read that, because I feel like that gives us a more complete message. So the reason why you'll feel like you're in the winter of your life before your soulmate comes in, if we follow the seasons, right? In fall, we let go of things. In winter, we heal from what we have let go of, right? We make peace with it. So there's isolation, right? There's time, space for us to sit in our own energy and heal. And then when spring comes, we've cleared out that space for new growth, new life. And so you'll find in the fall, in the autumn season, again, whether it's literally in the fall or metaphorically in the fall, in the autumn season, you'll let go of something. In the winter season, you'll heal. And I would say towards the end of winter, beginning of spring, because it's just the whispers of spring, so the very beginning of spring, the tail end of winter. Again, whether it's metaphorically or literally, that's when your soulmate will come in. This blessing will be bestowed upon you. All right, pile 2, this was your message. I hope it soothed your soul. I hope it gave you the reassurance that you needed. Best of luck to you. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in my next one. Pile 3, if you chose the black kitty cat, you are in the right place. So I am very glad that you clicked on this reading. Pile 3, you have the Death card, the Tower, and the Knight of Cups. Now for some of you, This energy hasn't come to pass yet. For others of you, you are in this energy now. But your soulmate is saying, I recognize that things feel uncertain. I recognize that things feel shaky, that you feel destabilized. Because with the Tower here in the heart of your reading, and again, some of you this hasn't happened yet, but the Tower card is unexpected change. And it's a collapsing of something that we hoped or thought we would last forever, essentially. And it feels like, for many of you, this change that comes in, at first, seems like the end of the world, right? It seems like you don't know how you're going to pick up the pieces and how you're going to rebuild. You can't see that yet. But I think the beauty here is that it's next to the Death card, and you can see how her arms are open. Now, the thing I love the most about your reading in particular here is that we're using the Sailor Moon Tarot deck, right? And on the TV show, these two become best friends. And they're very lonely, and they're very isolated, and they seem like an unlikely pairing, okay? But they do, they become best friends. And you see how the arms are open here. And so with the Tower, you know, in the show, Chibi Moon, she literally falls from the sky, okay? She falls from the sky, she's time traveled, she's separated from her parents, she's terrified, she's had a really rough time. And she's just a little girl, and she doesn't know what's gonna happen. She's terrified. And here is death. Here is Sailor Saturn of death and destruction, opening her arms. And there's a deep friendship and a deep love between these two. And again, an unlikely pairing. And so when this Tower happens, it's out of the blue. You're scared. Things are uncertain. Things are up in the air. But change, rebirth, is welcoming you with open arms. So as the Tower collapses and you're falling from the Tower, death opens its arms to you. And we know, right? This isn't actually a scary card. This is actually a beautiful, beautiful card. So this is the energy of being reborn, of being healed, of moving on from the past, closing a chapter, welcoming in new energy, fresh energy. And with the Knight of Cups, you're going to feel so free, so liberated, because this Tower, while it may have given you some stability, was ultimately draining you, was ultimately making you deeply, deeply unhappy. And I think some of you grew comfortable in the discomfort. And when you get out of that, when you're pushed out of that, you're going to remember what it feels like to truly be comfortable. And so Spirit is literally catching you. Spirit is catching you as you fall from this Tower. Spirit pushes you from the Tower, catches you. And you feel held, and you feel comfortable, and you feel safe, and you feel secure. And so don't worry. That feeling of loss is going to be a blip. It's not going to be as horrible as you think it is, because it's cushioned here. It's cushioned. Like you're safe. And your soulmate is saying, all of this is guiding you to me. All of this. This is all being orchestrated for us. We have the Dormouse here. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck because I think for many of you, this is you physically wanting like a new home environment. Wanting a little home for yourself, wanting a little peace and quiet, wanting your refuge from the world, wanting a safe space. And you know, even the littlest of mice, right? The little dormouse has space in this world, deserves to take up space, deserves to have a home. You deserve this, pile 3. You deserve stability, comfort, safety. And even though you may feel small and you may feel vulnerable and you may worry that you're not capable, that you can't stand on your own, that you can't handle what is being lost, but you are so much greater, you are so much more than what you're giving yourself credit for. You are so strong, you are so capable, you are so emotionally resilient. But you don't have to be. If you need to fall apart, because it's going to catch you. You're going to be okay. Spirit is going to hold your hand through this. Always, always turn to them because they're going to hold your hand through this. And it's okay. It's okay if you feel small. It's okay if you feel like you can't handle it. It's okay. No one expects you to go through this and not cry, and not break down, and not get down. No one expects you to experience this with a smile on your face. No one expects that of you. But you are going to be held. It is going to work out. But if you need to break down, break down. You're allowed that. Give yourself the grace to do that. We have get back to nature and reconnect with your hippie roots. And we have embrace your inner divine goddess. Now your gender doesn't matter. Remember, it's an energy. So yes, I feel like connecting with Mother Gaia, connecting with the divine feminine is going to be very necessary as a way for you to be gentle with yourself and give yourself grace through this process. But it is time for you to feel love. It is time for you to feel held. It is time for you to feel shielded and protected. You see these crystals protecting her. You see the sun. There is protection here. And I feel like a little bit of a similar energy to pile 2 in terms of you recognizing that there are seasons of your life and there are cycles. And I think even paying attention to the moon cycles could be quite beneficial to you at this time. Even the astrological transits, because there are greater forces at play affecting certain things. For example, maybe during a Mercury retrograde, it's not a great time for a new love connection to come in. Do you know what I mean? So just pay attention, because I think that there could be some signs in those cycles, in those transits, that will give you a clue why certain things are happening in your life that are outside of your control. It's a little hint from Spirit there. That's not even coming from your soulmate, that's coming from Spirit. So this is going to be a blessing for your future, something that your soulmate wants you to know, okay? We have Our Lady of the Ocean of Rebirth. I mean, yes, the Death card, reborn, resurrection. And you even had the Knight of Cups. Emotionally, you are being brought back to center. You are being cleansed. There's this feeling of weightlessness, of this heavy burden that you were carrying around for so long. Finally, your greatest worry that's been pressing down on you is just being taken away completely. And I think it's going to leave you, again, destabilized. But there's a part of you that's smiling as that building is burning, right? because you always knew it was going to crumble, and it finally is. Spirit is saying you're going to dance on those ashes. Like, thank goodness that thing left your life. Thank goodness. Whether it is a toxic work environment, a toxic living situation, a toxic relationship, thank goodness it is leaving your life. Thank goodness. Because you could not carry on like that. I mean, the damage that chronic stress does to us, it's not good for your health, it's not good for your well-being, spiritually, emotionally, physically, it's all connected. All connected, right? It's not good for you. It had to be gone. And for some of you, this connection to your soulmate, this partnership that you're going to have, is going to birth some new life. Something in alignment with your purpose. Whether it's a child that's going to leave a legacy, whether it's a family business, whether it's the emotional support that gives you the freedom to follow your dream. There's something there. Something greater is waiting for you on the other side of this. And again, all of this, bringing you into alignment with your soulmate. Let's look at the guidebook. I've been doing this for the other two groups. So this is the Mother Mary Oracle, Our Lady of Guadalupe. I really love Alana Fairchild's guidebooks. I think she has the best guidebooks. So let's just see if there are any additional messages for you all. I want to get her Rumi deck. I don't have that one. I have her, I think it's called Embrace Your Inner Goddess or something like that. It's got Frida Kahlo on the cover. That one I highly recommend as well. I need to use it more on the channel. So we have Our Lady of the Ocean of Rebirth. I champion your growth always. I know when hard edges are best to be softened, and when it is time for you to receive reward for efforts made. Allow me to help you release a karmic pattern so that you can now be reborn into new consciousness. Allow me to help you heal your life from the inside, that the outside may change and reflect your inner beauty and spiritual light. I am bringing you assistance now, that a force beyond your control may be softened, and your successful growth assured. It says your life story spans further than you may imagine. You might believe that your past or your anxiety or hope about the future is what matters most in the unfolding life story, but that is not the case. Let's see. Our Lady of the Ocean of Rebirth comes at a time when there is a karmic heaviness around you. This is not a bad situation, nor it is a punishment of any kind. The more advanced a soul, the more challenge it is capable of taking on. I just want to pause for a second. I really like that because it comes back to the idea that, you know how people say, God doesn't give you more than you can handle? And I know some of you may not like the term God. You can definitely change that out for spirit or the universe, you know, your guides, whatever resonates for you. But you know, God doesn't ever give us more than we can handle. So if you feel like life is putting you through hell and back, it's because you're one tough cookie, right? It's because you're strong enough to handle it. And that is difficult as it may be. It's kind of a nice little confidence booster, right? Because you wouldn't be thrown that if you weren't strong enough to take it on. So, it says, don't imagine that your struggles indicate that there is something wrong with you or your life. As frustrating as they may be, those struggles, especially big heart struggles, with those that hold much meaning or value for you personally, are a sign of a big soul going through spiritual growth. Beautiful. Yeah, something karmic is leaving your life. You're clearing it out. You know, you're taking those lessons and you're moving on. You're up-leveling spiritually. and you're ready for divine union. Beautiful. All right, pile 3, this was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it soothed your soul, because that was the goal. And I will see you all in my next one. Take care, pile 3.